I mean, it's 1973, would you believe, since Clannad's first album.
I can well believe it, because I remember it.
So it is. It's amazing, because, I mean, a lot of people copy this sound for what a, film or...
How did you actually come up with it originally? Were you fooling around in the studio?
No, not at all. I mean, I think it was something that very much developed naturally. It was something to do with, I mean, it's a lot to do with coming from Donegal. It's a lot to do with, I mean, we did 6 albums of basically collecting traditional songs and sort of arranging them and sort of, I mean, not a lot of people would understand what we were singing about years ago. So we used to kind of arrange them in, what they might mean or the emotion of the song or whatever. And then we discovered the timbre in our voices, because we're a family and, really worked together. And, by 82, when we were asked to do Harry's Game, I mean, we did it. We went off on a tour to Germany, and we came back to Top of the Pops, and we had to stand back ourselves from everybody was saying, "Where'd you get the sound?" And it was something, you know what I mean? We kind of went, "Wow, we have a sound." Developed. So it was great that it wasn't something that we didn't set out to find a sound or anything. It was just very much a very natural kind of
sort of sound. And I remember initially people thinking that it sounded almost like plain chant, like Gregorian chant. So was there a sort of a religious or a church influence in it in any way?
Well, my mother now would have, my mother and father would be involved in the church choirs, and and I still, whenever I'm in Donegal, go and join that. But no, I think it's just we loved harmonies, and we were listening to anybody that was, singing harmonies, whether it was the Beach Boys and Mamas and the Papas, or obviously the Beatles or whatever. But we just loved harmonies and just. Kind of
very different though from the traditional Irish music that most people would think of, belting out the songs with the fiddle and so on. I mean, it's very soft. And
it is, because I mean, you either have the ballad side of it, or else you'd have the unaccompanied side of it. And it is amazing when I travel around through the world and somebody says, "I love the Celtic sound," and you kind of try and say, "Well, it's this is sort of about just 30 years old, because they think it's very much a Celtic sound." So it's not, I mean, it is very flattering to think that, it's something that people regard now as being part of our culture. But it's to do with Donegal as well. We're very laid back in Donegal, and it's kind of, allowing that space to sort of become part of the music, I think,
We were having a chat there before we came back about your relationship with the harp, and we're sort of having a giggle about it, because you started off playing the harp at a very young age, and then you sort of ignored it for a while. Did you publicly ignore
it? Well, I didn't like it because, I had this image of sitting behind the harp, singing,
the lovely girl.
This kind of idea didn't appeal to me at all. So I sort of kind of went off it. And when I sort of, when Clannad were sort of, getting involved and, doing a lot more music and a lot more touring and that, I discovered that it became part of the music rather than it being, just harp and vocal and that. And I started to like it again, because it is a beautiful instrument. And even just by playing single notes in it, rather than, you don't have to be all flowery and everything with it, it's just, it does come across as just being...
Is it a difficult instrument to play or a difficult instrument to master?
Well, I play the Irish one now. I mean, I did do the concert harp, which is very, very difficult, a couple of years in the Royal Irish Academy. But it is, because you've got 34, 32, 34 strings, and, you can be...
People can't keep 6 strings in tune, let alone 34 of them.
It can become confusing, but, you have to practice a bit. I don't practice half enough, but this album, this new album, is sort of, it's a story based on Tara and an ancient harp. And I was reluctant to go down the road first with the harp, because, I mean, it's so overused in Ireland, kind of as far as, yes. But I thought about it long and hard, and realised that outside this country, I mean, we do like it here as well, but people love the sound of the harp, the shape of it, everything about it. So it's a story basically about, I meet sort of this blind stranger, and he could be from the past or the future, and it could be. I call him a time stranger, and he tells me that there was one special harp played on Tara, and it's my quest to find it. And he sort of comes with me. He tells me about it. He tells me, I mean, Bright Star relates to it being the harp, and then he sends me on the journey that the harp took. And it's kind of like a 3D story, because I go on the journey that the harp took throughout Ireland, and then to West Africa, to America, and then I'm on the journey as well, and then I bring my listeners to it. So it's kind of, you know, because I'm not a balladeer. I couldn't sort of write kind of a thematic album and sort of, you know, tell you exactly what exactly is happening,
album,
you know.
which is a kind
of yeah.
You could critically know you could be on shaky ground here, although
yeah, I know it's dated, but I mean it seems to be coming back, because Neil Young has a concept album coming out now, and somebody else.
You're trying to tell a story, so
well, that's it. And you know, with the music that I've been a part of, a lot of people, I mean, we've done a lot of film music, we've done a lot of TV music, and a lot of people sort of have often, you know, related our music being very visual, you know, a lot of, you know,
it is very cinematic.
Close your eyes and you can imagine all sorts of things. So I thought it would be really nice now to bring you on a journey. And the thing is that every song is sort of, you know, I've written a couple of lines to guide you where you are at the journey, but I try not to put too much in, so that you can have your own space and time as well within the storyboard, you know.
And what's happening with Clannad now? Is Clannad finished? Will you be back to do another album, performing again?
Clannad is not finished. We needed a break. I mean, you know, 30 years since our first album. We were together even, in 1970 was the first time we won the Letterkenny Folk Festival. And 1976 when we were professional, and we were, even when we were playing together and we'd go home, we were always with each other, you know. And I mean, we get on great, and we talk about doing another studio album, and we're hoping that it's very much in the pipeline for next year. We have remastered a lot of our stuff now this year. This September it came out, so that was great to do. And also there's a very special, I mean, you know, record companies bring out this special, you know, a hits album and, you know, a themes album, various things, but there is one just came out this week, and it's very much we're part of and what we wanted to be on the album. So we just thought it'd be nice to, you know, for people to remember what we did, anybody that has forgotten about Clannad, and you know, maybe sort of start it up again, as you know, as far as going into the studio next year.